Hello, I am Major Larry, and today we are on the 212th podcast. Once again, we are halfway through company games. It is currently 3-2, A company winning, but that can all change very quickly today as we have the CQB event. The first 4 games, or the first half of company games, has been very, very interesting so far. 2 wins to A Company, 2 wins to Ranger Company. So, the first game was FOB, Attack and Defense, and A Company won that by a mile. It wasn't even close. The second game, Capture the Flag. Again, A Company dominated. Not even close. And it was absolutely insane to just see that happen. The first event, FOB Attack and Defense, as I said, A Company won that, and they sat there for a solid, 15 minutes, twice straight, and they got a total of 40-ish minutes for the score, because the more lives you have left, the more points you get. And it was absolutely insane, compared to Ranger Company, who survived, 9 minutes and then 13 minutes for each, and everybody died on their team. So it was very, very impressive what A Company did, but it's also very impressive what they did in the second game. That second game was Capture the Flag. It was, again, not very close. Ranger Company just got stumbled. In every single game before, Ranger Company has won Capture the Flag, but there's always something that can change. This is company games. It is the most unfair thing in the entirety of this server. You could win so many games, and you could still lose company games because the other company came back or they had more points at the beginning. It does not matter. Next, Ranger Company finally got their first one on Monday with a firefight. Me, Tuka, and Eric absolutely dominated that. I think it was 11 to -10. It was an insane victory, and it definitely started a lot of momentum. And then we won the second game in a row, and that was Jeopardy. It was Bulldozer, Mitchell, and Womp against me, and the points total was 4,001 to 1,450. It just was not close. So the one thing I have noticed is every single one of these games has ended in a landslide. No game so far has been a toss-up except for one, and the point hasn't been awarded and won't be awarded until tomorrow. That is the recruitment point. Currently it is 21 to 19. Ranger Company is winning. But before that, we had the media point that was submitted yesterday. And A Company absolutely dominated with that. Ranger Company had a very good edit, but A Company had so much. It was very funny, but at the same time, it was very, very impressive. And to Womp, who did a lot of the editing, congratulations. That was, again, very impressive. Now, the future events that we will talk about, CQB. The last time we had CQB event, which was Company Games 3, Ace and Bulldozer went up against me and I can't remember who else. But it was a very, very, very close match, but Ranger Company ended up taking the win even after Ranger Company had just me at the end. So we took that victory, and it's possible we take the victory today. But there is a very high chance that that doesn't happen, because right now the attendance is not looking up for Ranger Company, but that could change in moments. So after this is posted, it could be 4-4. I don't know. Now, I want y'all to know this. The next events, there will be 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. This will 100% determine who will win company games, including the one today. So there are 5 events out there, 6 points to be gotten. And right now, it is technically a tied game because Ranger Company owns the recruitment point at this very moment. So, if we look at it, it's just 3-3 right now. No one is taking the lead. even though A Company officially has 3 points and Ranger Company officially has 2 points. It is just 3-3. Nothing crazy is going on. So this is the closest company games we have ever had, and it's only the fourth one. Because in the first two, we had Ranger Company win the first three, A Company won the first three, and then A Company won the first three again in the third event, or in the third company games. So now we have to look at today. A Company wins the first two, Ranger Company wins the second two, A Company wins the media point. If Ranger Company can pull off the recruitment point, then it will be very, very, very decisive on how the next points will go out. Because there is no way ever that this can tie. It is impossible. Because of the way that company games works, we were supposed to have an event on Wednesday. That got moved to Friday because no one could host it. So now that became an off day. Media point was submitted. A Company takes that point. And now we are left with everyone thinking that we don't know who will win. Ranger Company thinks Ranger Company won. A Company will think A Company can win. The biggest issue here is that once somebody starts to take the lead or someone starts to go further into the lead without anyone stopping them, the other company will ultimately give up or the other company will burn themselves out. Now, of course, there's the third option where it gets so close to where it comes down to, let's say, what is it? I think it'd be 8-9. No, yeah, 8-9. I think that's what it could be, something like that. But that would be the closest we've ever seen. And I'm thinking ultimately, whoever wins the next 2 to 3 games will win. Now, if it's a mix-up of A Company and Ranger Company, whoever has the most points by that point will most likely be the winners of company games. So this is going to be the end of the podcast. Don't worry, this is just like a halftime podcast. So now we're going to go to the post company games podcast the next time, and there I will try to get Colonel Eagle, Sergeant Willie, and someone from Ranger Company. Whoever is in there, you will know, but this will be a very, very, very big podcast because honestly, nobody is going to have that company games mindset at that point. So it's going to be purely descriptive and everybody's going to be all sportsmanlike and everything. It's going to feel really weird because Willie has been on top of everything. And he's been absolutely phenomenal this entire company games. So for everybody out there that is listening, company games is not over, and this can switch at any moment. Even though A Company is technically winning right now, Ranger Company could take this at any moment possible. So I will see you next time, and have a very good day.